Senators trade Dzingel to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Anthony Duclair and picks. First off, I just want to apologize. I don't have any Senator or Blue Jacket jerseys / t-shirts. They're one of the very few I haven't purchased yet, so I kind of had to improvise. I'll let you guess on what logo is on the other side of these two shirts. In any case, let's just talk about the basics first. Columbus Blue Jackets acquire Ryan Dzingel, who can play all four positions, but has played, I want to say, mostly left wing with Ottawa, was acquired, and also a 7th round pick in 2019 to Columbus. Now, the Ottawa Senators get Anthony Duclair, who can play both wings, and a 2nd round pick in 2020 and 2021 draft. Now, Columbus is going for it. Obviously, after getting Matt Duchene the other day, they now have, a little interesting stat here, 6 players, a league high, who have scored 20 or more goals. Starting with Cam Atkinson, who scores 34. Matt Duchene has 28. Panarin has 24, the Breadman. Dubois has 23. Dzingel has 22, as does Anderson. They're looking like a scary team right now, and they may not be finished. So that's the fun part of it all. Now, the nitty-gritty. Ryan Dzingel, as I mentioned earlier, can play left, right wing, and center. So it's good to have someone who's ambidextrous like that going into the playoff. If any injuries arise, etc. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds, 26 years old, and he shoots left. Now, his cap hit, which is another great thing about him, is only $1.8 million, and he's a UFA at the end of this year. So, I mean, Columbus could still have the space to go out and get more players. But in the same breath, I must say that they could have 5 major players that'll walk at the end of the season. In Duchene, Dzingel, Bobrovsky, and Panarin. I might be missing 1 or 2 as well. So, now... I digress. Now, Dzingel was drafted in the 7th round, 204th overall in the 2011 NHL draft. That's a nice little gem Ottawa found there. Now, let's look at some of his stats. This season so far, in 57 games, he's got 22 goals, 22 assists for 44 points. He's a minus 13. The last couple seasons, as you can see here, he's been a bit of a minus player. So, I mean, Ottawa has been a minus team, really, so maybe we'll give him a little bit of a break on that one. I know, plus minus, some people don't think it matters too much, blah, blah, blah. In any case, last season, in 79 games, he had 23 goals, 18 assists, and 41 points, and was a minus 17. Yeah, not great on the minus end there, but again, he scored over 23 goals, and we're only 57 games in, and he's already at 22 right now. Columbus could get him at his best year, which will most likely be his best year, because he's already had it in points, just not quite yet in goals. Now, in the 2016-17 season, in 81 games, before his breakout, he had 14 goals, 18 assists for 32 points, and was a plus player, plus 7. And I want to say that's the year that Ottawa went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to Pittsburgh. And then 2015-16, in 30 games played, he had 3 goals, 6 assists, and 9 points, and was a plus 4. Now, in that same season, he was playing in the AHL, and had 44 games played. He had 12 goals, 24 assists, and 36 points. And he was a minus 5. And then 2014-15 season in the AHL, 66 games played, 17 goals, 17 assists, 34 points. There's a little flash of those soft hands there, and he was a minus 6 in that season. And then 2013-14, in 96 games played in the AHL, he was 2 goals, 5 assists, and 7 points for a plus 1. Yee. Now that's 7th round pick numbers right there. And of course, so those are the details for Ryan Dzingel. And of course, don't forget they're getting that 7th round pick as well in 2019 from Ottawa. What does Ottawa get? Is this the boring part? Maybe not. Now, Anthony Duclair, he's kind of an interesting player because he's been around leagues not just the league. He can play both wings, left and right. He's 5'11", 191 pounds, 23 years old. He's only 23. Keep that in mind. And he shoots left as well. Now, his cap hit, Ottawa's just, throwing money out the door. Not throwing money out the door, per se. You know what I mean. Getting rid of all this money. They're probably going to have a hard time reaching the cap floor, I think, next season. In any case, he's making $650,000. He's an RFA at the end of the season. We'll see if Ottawa even re-signs him. He'll have the rest of the season to prove that he belongs. But hey, I mean, Ottawa's going to have some players on the ice, right? He was drafted third overall, in the third round, 80th overall by the New York Rangers in 2013. He only ended up playing one season for them, or 18 games. Before he got traded. But before we get to that, in this season so far, in 53 games played for the Columbus Blue Jackets, he's had 11 goals, 8 assists for 19 points, and he was a -3. Last season, he split it between the Arizona Coyotes and the Chicago Blackhawks in 2017-18, and in 56 games played, he had 11 goals, 12 assists for 23 points, and he was a -5. So he's basically on par to getting the same amount of points, but he looks like he's got them at least a faster pace here. Maybe he'll hit 16, 17 goals, which is not too bad. Now, the season before that, in the 2016-17 season, I want to say he finished off with in the AHL with the Roadrunners, Arizona Coyotes AHL affiliate. In 16 games played there in the AHL, because he was sent down, he had 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points for a -11 in the AHL. Ouch. Now, in this same season, before he was sent down, when he was playing for the Coyotes, in the 2016-17 season, he played 58 games. In 58 games, he had 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points, and was a -7. So you can see why they sent him down. But before that, the season before that's when Duclair had his breakout. This is what's so strange about this kid. Because in 2015-16 season, in 81 games played, if you remember, him and Domi combined and just were gangbusters. He had 20 goals, 24 assists for 44 points, and +12. A little glimpse of what this guy could do. Because we'll get to in a second, because in the juniors, he was unbelievable. Now, in his first season in the NHL, he only played 18 games, and that was the 2014-15 season. He had 1 goal, 6 assists for 7 points in 18 games, and he was a +4. He was a plus player at that point. Now, this is what's so bizarre about him, because he started off really slow. He gets to the Arizona Coyotes. He has that amazing year, and then he just falls off a cliff for the rest of his remaining seasons. And it's really strange, because before he jumped into the Rangers, he was playing in the QMJHL in Quebec for the Ramparts, I want to say. And in 4 seasons in the QMJHL, between 2011 and 2015, in 203 games, he had 116 goals and 133 assists for 249 points in 203 games. Over a point per game player. And he was a +3. Remember that the plus-minus category, it's a sum, it's not an average. But he was a plus player his whole time in the Quebec League there. Now, in the World Juniors, in the under-20, in 2015, in 7 games, he had 4 goals, 4 assists, and 8 points. 8 points in 7 games, and he was a +11. This was a good player. I really don't get... maybe he just came up to the NHL too fast. And then, he had that great year, and everyone's like, oh, okay, you're staying. And then he just, he fell flat afterwards. Maybe he could have used some more development in the AHL before he made that leap. Maybe it's something personal. Who knows? I don't know. Drive. I guess maybe we'll find out more once he gets to Ottawa. He'll probably get some more opportunity. I would think maybe Ottawa would have him on the third line, maybe even try him on. Hey, who have they got left there? Maybe he'll even get a shot on the first line. First line, definitely the second. We'll see. Now, of course, Ottawa, as I mentioned earlier, also gets 2 second-round picks in 2020 and 2021. So not 2019, just in 2020 and 21. This is, what can I say? This is a great deal for Columbus. I mean, they only had Duclair for one season, but he was kind of falling flat so far, even though he's been having probably his best season since 2015-16. Ryan Dzingel, they have so much depth now. It's just scary. What is Columbus? I would love to see a Columbus Washington series right off the bat. Or what if? Yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen, because if Islanders finish in first in the Metro, they'll play. I want to say one of either, depending on who's in the playoffs at that point, Carolina or Pittsburgh or Montreal, one of those three teams. But it'll most likely be Washington and Columbus again in the first round. That's going to be a sizzler. I can't wait. In any case, thank you so much for watching. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this trade. Who do you think won? Hit like if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you happen to have any hockey geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.